Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com here, back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, OmiseGO, and Lisk, all of those in that order in a more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. But first, I'm going to cover the general market and the altcoins, what's been going on in the past, couple hours. So Bitcoin has indeed taken a bit of a hit here and is moving lower. This is something that I predicted very nicely, and I was going a bit against the crowd because it seemed like yesterday a lot of people thought that Bitcoin was just going to keep on going up, and I stuck true to my analysis where I thought that Bitcoin just had to get a bit of a pullback, and I think that's what's starting today is the beginning of a pullback. So I'll get to that, of course, in the technical analysis, but it is falling a bit, so that's something to notice. Of course, the altcoins are still doing pretty good. There's some that are in the red, but overall doing really good. And a couple that I want to point out here today are going to be Ethereum and Litecoin, because those are two that I mentioned that I thought were going to move higher. I did actually purchase more Litecoin yesterday, so I added to my position. I'm up pretty nicely on that. So these two are definitely moving higher, and technically we'll see what they're looking like today, but yesterday they were looking good, and I think they should be looking even better today. So that's good to see that I was accurate on that prediction as well. Monero is still moving higher. That's something that I mentioned as well. I know that seems like I'm joking, and I'm not trying to be cocky or anything. I have experience in the markets, and over time you kind of feel like how these cryptocurrencies or stocks are going to move, and hopefully you guys can kind of learn that throughout watching these videos. But I did indeed call this Monero jump as well. IOTA is one that I haven't been talking about too much. I feel like IOTA has some problems. It's not the perfect cryptocurrency, but I have to give credit where credit's due, and it's looking really good right now. It broke out of the downtrend, and it's in full reversal mode, so we'll see if it'll be able to break through the 63-cent area. If it does, though, that'll be a really good sign. It could go back to its all-time highs, but we'll see how it acts around that. Just wanted to point it out because it is up 20% and is really coming back in full force here. Otherwise, Cardano, this is one that I think I'm going to make a daily a price prediction analysis video on today. So keep an eye out for that. But this one has been, had a little bit of rounded bottom here and is really coming back up nicely. So Cardano looking pretty good here, up 26%. Lisk still doing very well. Like I said, Lisk and Litecoin were kind of set up to move higher. And we have Stellar Lumens that's up nicely as well. So a couple of these that are bouncing really well, and those are kind of the main ones that I wanted to point out. But let's get right into the technical analysis here, starting off with Bitcoin, of course. And as you can see, I had mentioned how yesterday we had this long upper wick, which is a sign that buyers weren't able to sustain these higher levels. And today we got the first, sign maybe of a pullback here. So of course, we'll have to see if it'll break this low over here of 6,945. I think that it's looking pretty likely now. So first level of, support and where it could bounce is going to be sort of around here, which is going to be, around 6,500, I guess. And it could bounce off this trend line right over here. That would be in line with the candlestick over here. So yeah, somewhere around there, it depends. It can even go a bit lower. If it does go lower, it'll probably go towards this 6,100 area, which would bounce on this second trend line that I've drawn. And, if those two don't hold and it's really, going to be a bigger pullback, then we might see it even drop until 5,000, 4,900 even, where it'll bounce off these previous candlesticks over here and this more long-term support uptrend line. So yeah, that's kind of where I see it heading. Of course, it'll have to kind of test through these levels, see where it'll get, some big support, but I do think it'll start falling here in the short term. So do be aware of that. The MACD now turning back over, histogram as well. We're back below the 70 line on the RSI. So all of those are bearish signs as far as technicals go. And I'm not like bearish on Bitcoin. I don't think it's gonna like fall forever or anything. Of course not. But in the short term, I think it's gonna get a bit of a drop, and then it can probably healthily move back up. Slow and steady increase. These things have to get pullbacks. It's important. Otherwise, it's unsustainable. The price action. Ethereum looking really good today. It broke above this black line that I drew yesterday, and that was a horizontal resistance level that corresponded to a lot of candlesticks, so that was a pretty important resistance level to break out of, and it did. We now broke out of the symmetrical triangle on the MACD, so that's yet another good sign. Same thing on the RSI, and set up really nicely. Of course, we have a little bit of an upper wick here. That's because we're currently trading above the upper Bollinger Band, and as you can see, it's starting to expand. So I'm thinking that we're going to get a very similar move to what we had right over here in this area, right? So we have this first green candlestick over here, which would correspond to this one, and then our second one, which is literally the exact same one. As you can see, longer upper wick, pretty big green candle body. That's the exact same candlestick as we have over here. So expect a similar move. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking right now. A very similar move to what we had over here with a similar pullback probably, and then hopefully moving back up to 400 here. I could have very well added, I actually don't own any Ethereum right now, but I was thinking about buying some yesterday. I just ended up going for Litecoin because I already was building up a position on that one. But yeah, I could have very well bought some Ethereum. It was looking good to me yesterday, and I was right. It looks like it's going to move higher now. So moving over to Litecoin, I'm happy that this one is out of the woods. And, same thing, expanding Bollinger Bands over here. Indicators looking good, moving higher. Now, same thing with the price action. I think we're in a very similar scenario as we have over here. I mentioned this in my previous daily crypto. As you can see, we have the big green candlestick over here, very similar candlestick once again, and then two candlesticks that were trading above the upper Bollinger Band. That's exactly what we have over here. And yeah, I kind of just expect this to have a similar move at least to what we have over here. It might be a little bit less powerful, but it could have as much strength as here, where we're really going to start shooting up. The first thing that we're going to want to see, though, I'm going to go ahead and draw a black resistance line so you get a better idea, but we're going to really want to make sure that we can break through. Let's see, depends on where you want to put this, but I guess over here is fair. This $66 area, $67 area there's a lot of resistance there for Litecoin, so we're definitely going to want to see it break through that. I totally think it can do that, but it struggled a bit today, which is normal. And even if we do fail to do that tomorrow and we get a bit of a pullback, that's fine, because we're going to have this uptrend line now serving as support, so it should definitely bounce off that. But yeah, I expect it to get some pretty strong strength and then hopefully really kick up here and go kind of parabolic, really get a big breakout. As soon as we break past 67, we should get a pretty strong move right up till 80, probably mid 70s or all the way up to $83 really quickly. And pretty much after that, a new all-time high would be in the bag at that point. So Litecoin looking very good in my opinion. Like I've said, I've added to my position, and I'm hopeful that it will be moving higher here in the near future. Next up, we have Ripple. Ripple still acting a little bit indecisive here, unfortunately. So yesterday we had the beginning of a bit of a breakout, I guess you could say. Now the indicators are still looking okay, especially the MACD. It's been looking good, but unfortunately the price action hasn't really corresponded to how good the MACD is looking. And the RSI, is moving back down now. Of course, it should bounce off this support line. But as far as the price action goes, where do I see Ripple heading in the next couple days? It's hard to say. Maybe this is just a temporary pullback, and it's just facing a bit of resistance here at this black line, horizontal black line, 21-cent area, and it'll move higher after that and maybe test this downtrend line. Or we're just going to get stuck in this range bound, in between this lower black line and the higher one. So this one is at 18 cents, and that's definitely possible. That's not what I would want to see, right? I would want to see the Bollinger Bands really expand. We have a beginning of that, but it doesn't seem to really be lasting. And basically, I want to see a breakout now for Ripple, right? We don't have to see like a full-on breakout, but hopefully a close above this black line would be a really good sign, I think, for Ripple. It can definitely happen. Right now, it's still acting a little bit shaky, so we're just going to have to wait and see. Yeah, a little bit in indecisiveness and consolidation here, it seems like, for Ripple. Let's move over to NEO now. NEO had a really good day yesterday. Did get a bit of a sell-off, though, moved pretty low after a massive upper wick. We did get another update today, which is good, right? We're moving higher, making a lower low, so that's obviously a good sign. Indicators not really giving us much information as of right now. We're still in between our two black lines, so we are still range bound. We've seen that we've been putting in this range for a while now. So I'm hopeful that NEO will be able to break above this, and it'll face some resistance, of course, at around $38, $40. But after that, I think it'll really move back up to its all-time highs. It might still struggle a bit for a couple days. Like I said, if it does fall back down, it'll probably bounce off this uptrend line over here, this pink line. But overall, looking pretty good. It might just get a bit, some more extra consolidation before really getting a move higher. Otherwise, if it gets an update tomorrow, we'll be just looking to see if it can break past this $34 area. Next up, Vertcoin. I've got some people asking me about this one. So, I cover it in every daily crypto update, but I know that there's a lot of Vertcoin, I guess, supporters out there that watch this channel. So if you want me to do some kind of dedicated video on anything on Vertcoin, let me know what you would like to see, and I'll definitely try to do that for you. But taking a look here at what's been going on. So it is up today, and the indicators are turning a bit more bullish. We bounced now nicely off this black line, and we're now above this $60 level on the RSI. MACD kicking up pretty strongly. Now, like I said, this type of move for the MACD is usually going to fail, right? It's usually going to test this orange line and fall back down, and we're going to get a bit more of downside movement till we can really get a crossover, right? That's just because usually the first time after a big downward slope like this that it tests the orange line, it usually fails that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit more of a drop. Now, once again, for Vertcoin, it does have a lot of strength behind it. A lot of people like this cryptocurrency, rightfully so. This middle band, the brown line, is going to serve as some really nice support here, coming up at around just under $4. So that's moving up nicely, and it'll definitely be helpful in, supporting the price move higher. But today, the price action wasn't the best. Now, what happened was we basically, tried to move above the $4.85, this pink line right over here, resistance level. We managed to do so, but we got a massive upper wick here, so we sold off from that. Buyers weren't able to sustain that level, and now we're basically moving below this resistance level, so we're kind of failing that right now. Of course, it can move into this range. That's fully possible. It probably will down the line, but right now, I would say unless we can really close above this pink line on this candlestick, probably move back down to this middle band, get a bounce off that, and yeah, we'll see from there. But definitely expect a little bit of a pullback and consolidation still for Vertcoin. Moving over to Monero here. Let's see. Actually, this is the wrong exchange. Let me just put that on Bittrex. Now, Monero, like I said, moving higher. Candlestick. My charting has been very accurate on this one. As you can see, it's been pretty much moving to a T on where I'm drawing my black lines. But what we have over here, it moved above the 70 line. That's bullish. The MACD is really moving back up after a long, basically was completely flat because of the range-bound price action that it had. So this is a really good sign, right? I think we're going to see something like we had over here. And I think, like I said, this is the beginning to the move to the all-time highs. So just compared to this one, probably we'll get a little bit of a pullback, maybe, tomorrow or something, or maybe if we move a bit higher. But overall, I think this is going to be a pretty powerful move like we had over here up until the all-time highs, and we'll see how it acts around that. But I'm very bullish on Monero right now, and making lower lows, higher highs, higher lows and higher highs, which means that it's continuing the uptrend. We can now see the Bollinger Bands really starting to expand, right? That's going to be obviously a great sign. The brown line is moving up as well. So everything is pointing towards Monero moving upwards. The volume is good here. Good green volume. And yeah, basically just going to have to pay attention to see if we're going to get a little pullback. If we do, that's completely fine. But overall, I think there's going to be a pretty powerful move like we had over here towards the all-time highs in the very next, couple days. So looking pretty good for Monero here. OmiseGO, let's see what's been going on with that one. And OmiseGO is actually up nicely today. That's really good to see. And in fact, it's also repaired some of the technical damage that it had, a couple days ago from this big downside, and just it wasn't acting very good, to be honest. And things are finally turning back, nicely for OmiseGO. It's starting to. We actually, in fact, put in the first. Kind of bottom and sort of higher high compared to the previous, high over here. So that's a really good sign, right? It means that I think a reversal is in play now. And, you know, we now broke through a lot of resistance on the RSI, broke out of all this mess, and we're now back above the uptrend line, which is really good to see. We're back above the 50 level as well. MACD is moving forward. Now, as far as the price action goes, what I really like today is that we're back above this uptrend line, the pink line right over here. We'll see if we can really close and hold above that, but I think we will. It's looking pretty good here for a nice spike up to maybe even above this $10 range pretty quickly here. I think it should reach that level, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that in the next couple days, and that would definitely be bullish, even if it consolidates a bit in here. Just the fact that we could move into this level and stay in there would be a really good sign. Now, it's getting nice support off the brown line, which is currently at $7 about, and it's moving. It looks like it's going to move back up as well. So OmiseGO looking good here. Just kind of expect it to churn upwards. Probably get a bit of a spike if we get a bit of a breakout here at $10. And yeah, overall, not much else to say. It's looking good. I think this is a reversal for OmiseGO. Probably going to move higher in the next couple weeks. Finally, Lisk. Let's see what's been going on with Lisk. Moving really nicely today. Now, this is a very, you know, overextended move, I guess you could say, but it is a pretty strong breakout. So, you know, it's normal. Now, just look what we had over here, right? Lisk does seem to have a lot of strength when it gets its sort of breakouts and really climbs above the upper Bollinger Band. Is able to sustain that for pretty decently. You know, of course, it eventually gets a pullback, and we'll probably get that here as well. But, yeah, it's looking good. I think this, you know, now we don't have much resistance left towards till we reach the all-time highs. So let me just put in some of these levels here. Let's see, is that accurate? So yeah, what we have over here is yesterday we tested this resistance level over here, which is kind of going to be the more or less the last resistance level until we can really go to the all-time highs and probably break above that pretty easily. So that's going to be at $7, sorry, and 63 cents. We didn't manage to go back that high today, but let's see. I'm also going to throw in another level right over here. I don't think we'll have too much problem with this, you know, since this is really breaking out, but I might as well just throw it in there. So that's going to be that level right over here, and let me just see one thing. Yeah. No, so that's going to be this level over here. Of course, today we put in a high of $7.07. I just expect this one to really take off like it kind of did over here. You know, Lisk is great cryptocurrency, I think. Almost at above the 70 line on the RSI, so that's going to be some added strength if it's able to break above that. And yeah, not much to say here. I like I said, it seems to have some strength as soon as it breaks above the Bollinger Bands, and that's what's happening right now. So kind of just expect this one to really take off. And yeah, we'll have to see how it acts when it hits the all-time high, though, which will probably be pretty soon, but I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Otherwise, thank you for watching this video. This is the end of this daily crypto update. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more of these videos. I really appreciate you watching, and yeah, have a great day.